Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about astrology and the plane crash that took place in Nepal today. Sadly, first thing I want to do is offer my prayers and condolences to the close friends and family members of the people that perished in this event. My understanding is there's at least like 68 confirmed deaths as a result of this crash. This was a terrible tragedy, and it's just sad when you have to hear about these things you think could have been averted. My understanding is that there have been a number of accidents in this general area part of the world, and maybe what they're going to learn from this mistake and learn from what happened in this crash, and take more precautions regarding the aircraft. Have the mechanics look at things more extensively and make sure that everything is in full working order. When you make these when you work on these airplanes. And terrible tragic event that took place, something very catastrophic. The first thing, to take note of for me astrologically, okay, Aries is on the ascendant in this chart, and the ascendant is like it's the face of the event. Aries is volatile, it's violent energy. It's this was an accident. Naturally, I would say Aries is a sign that can be connected with accidents. Chiron conjuncts the ascendant, which could add even more suffering and physical related trauma. Chiron is associated with physical and emotional trauma. Jupiter is conjunct the ascendant, so as I've stated in previous videos, Jupiter, even though it's strongly benign and benevolent, is paradoxical. It could also enlarge and expand, and it could enlarge what happened in this event, this volatile violent basically event that did take place. And Aries is also very abrupt and spontaneous. This is something that obviously happened very quickly. And it's in that Jupiter conjunction could be enlarging that energy basically. Uranus is in the first house as well. Uranus is connected with accidents, and I used 11 a.m. as the time of this event. This took place today on January 15th, 2023 at 11 a.m. And and I'm not being flippant with this. I thought what was interesting though is that I believe they talked about I saw the reports online regarding this crash, is that there were twin engines, and Mars is in Gemini. Mars could have a connection with engines, and in Gemini is the sign of the twin, so it's interesting. It's a dual sign. It has two, and it's a sign of the twins. Twin engine plane. And another thing, looking at this event as well, you have the sun in Capricorn making a square to the moon in Libra. You have right there, that could indicate the event might cause some turbulent relationships could wind up happening with others. You're obviously going to have some anger being expressed as a result of this event, whether toward the people that are likely over this aircraft. And it's just again, it's just such a terrible traumatic event. You have what's interesting too, what I noticed, well, another thing that I want to talk about regarding this chart and the event is that there are a preponderance of planets that fall in the fourth quadrant, which consists of houses 10, 11, and 12, and that shows really a positive end, that there's going to be likely a lot of altruism, selflessness, a lot of group-related efforts trying to help maybe the families that are connected with the people that have perish, whether it's for burial expenses or what have you. I see, this event may bring a lot of people together. People doing, again, group-oriented things, organizations perhaps helping out these people out at this point in time. And most of the planets in this event chart fall on the left side, or the left half of the chart, which of course is very self-reliant and independent energy. And many people at the same time are going to be acting, even though it's going to be a lot of group-related efforts, I see, but people are going to be really, thinking, really a lot of people are going to be independent in terms of maybe what they feel, needs to be done to try to avert, these kind of things from transpiring in the future. Another thing too, regarding, this event chart, you have Pluto conjunct the Sun, right there. That could be an indicator of, obliteration of life. The Sun in astrology rules life. Pluto is connected with death and obliteration. It's in the sign of Capricorn, which can make this more depressive. The energy could be causing more despondency. And at this time, you also have, what I think is interesting is that you have Mercury in Capricorn. Okay, Mercury in Capricorn by itself, can indicate, you might need to guard against becoming overly despondent or melancholy, but you can't help but be sad and dejected in a situation like this. Mercury is making in this event chart, makes an inconjunct aspect to Mars. And inconjuncts in astrology can reflect too much or too little of something. There could be maybe either too much or too little communication just regarding, the accident in general. Mars is connected with accidents. Mercury is associated with communications. You're going to have obviously a lot of communication. I'm sure it'll go the other way, and that's not really so bad. But also, again, Mars, again, I believe can be connected with engines, and you're talking about the twin engines in this case, and there might be either too much or too little, conversation regarding this. Maybe that is what had to do with this crash. I'm sure engines, faulty engines do figure prominently in many crashes. It's possible that in this instance that may have been the case. Mars is also the ruler of the 8th house. In the chart, 8th house, Scorpio falls on it. And this is an indicator that, death could be more, it would be more destructive. And it's something that, Scorpio energy, is very, powerful. And again, it's destructive. It falls on the 8th house cusp of death. In this event chart, and the South Node was not far from the 8th house cusp in this chart, which can indicate more. I would say if South Node is close to something, whether it's a cusp or a planet or what have you, it can affect that energy to its detriment. And the 8th house is Scorpio is about control and being able to it can show a loss of control as well, because the South Node is about what you're going away from. And you have the South Node, very close to the Scorpio 8th house cusp, which is really the loss of control and the control of this plane, and also being able to have power and control over death at this time, because Scorpio is on the 8th house cusp of death. Scorpio is associated with power and control. Now, another thing wanted to state as well is that you also in this chart you have Mercury making a semi-square to Saturn, so this could be an indicator of the communication being harder, maybe to get more difficulty getting communication regarding maybe this what had transpired. It can also be communication can be a little more of an effort at this time. And also, Mercury, being in Capricorn, and it is retrograde. So there's going to be a lot of reviewing, I'm sure, on this matter. And government communication. Capricorn is connected with the government. It's interesting because Mercury in this event chart, based on the 11 a.m. approximate time that I have of the event, Mercury does conjoin the midheavens. So this is naturally an event which is going to have obviously an abundance and surfeit of communication, and it's going to be communications that's going to be very, obviously very sad and depressive, considering you're talking about Capricorn. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But anyway, now, another thing is, when I look at this, this chart is just it's just an indicator of, a violent event, taking place, and it's just, again, it's terrible. It's something like this had to transpire, but on the positive end, it does appear that we're going to have a lot of people coming together at this time, a lot of group related activities, a lot of humanitarianism and selflessness being expressed at this point in time. And you have, in this case as well, you have both the Pisces is on the cusp of the 12th house, and by itself it could indicate a lot of sacrificing for those that are less fortunate. And also you have both the rulers of that 12th house cusp, Neptune and Jupiter, are in the 12th house. So this is going to be an exceptionally, a time, I'd say, where there's going to be a lot of compassionate support showed for those people that are grieving at this point in time. And maybe the people that may not have like the money, whether it's, for burial expenses or what have you, for these people that have passed away, sadly. And the thing is, you just have, an event like this, you hear about these things all the time, and you have so many people that are passing away. I just wonder if this might be like, sadly, a precursor to Pluto in Aquarius transit coming up in the near future, because Pluto is about death and destruction, and Aquarius is connected with aviation and humanity. And I mean, you're hearing about other things too, a lot of celebrities right now that are in debilitated states or passing on. And I'm really hoping that this is not like, the harbinger or precursor for events that are going to be happening, or if there's going to be, if it's going to be more of, a proliferation of people dying that are associated with aviation, associated with the malfunctions of airplanes, of faulty, equipment, motors, engines, what have you, parts on the plane, working parts that make the whatever components on the plane that are actually making it work. And it's just something, to hear something like this, you can only imagine and envision what the families and close friends of these people that perished are actually feeling, at this point in time. And there is, just trying to see if there's anything else in this chart of any significance that could be connected, with this event. And you just, it's really, it's really pretty much it, as far as what I want to say, astrologically what's pertaining to this event. Again, I just want to close with, I want to, give my, the prayers and condolences, to the, the friends and family members of the people that have perished on this plane. I don't even know if anybody survived. The plane, was my understanding, was really like basically annihilated. I don't know if there were any survivors on that plane. It's something you got to confer on the internet. though. But again, it's just people have to realize that the one thing I want to close with is that we never know when our time is up. And I know most of you understand this, but I'm just saying this to emphasize this more and to reaffirm and reinforce this, is that we never know when the time is up for us. And life can go come and go very quickly, in a flash. It's just something that we can't take for granted. The things that we have in life, just basic things for subsistence and survival, can be there one minute and can be eradicated the next. And life is the same way, people. So try to appreciate those that are there, the people in your life that are that are significant, that are important. It's not always about quantity and the amount of people in our life. It's about quality, and those people that are there for you, your close friends and family, the people that are very prominent in your life, that are there for you during trials and tribulations. And understand and appreciate and respect them. Don't take them for granted, because they could be gone at any time. I'm sure there were some of these people that perished as a result of this plane crash were parents of children. And when you have like 68 people, what have you, pass away, I mean, it's not just the lives of those people that were impacted. It's the family and close friends. It's their lives now that are impacted. And when people see incidents like that, if this is a harbinger of things to come, and we see an escalation of airplane crashes in the near future, people are going to be more reluctant to even board planes, and it's going to impact society to some degree and how we live. We're already in a lot of us are in a strong state of fear and trepidation, whether it's due to COVID and just the general violence and volatility that goes on in our world. But we have to just remember that this is an event, and not just this event by itself, but there's other events that are going to happen in the future that are similar to this, can impact us and make people even more fearful than many of them were to begin with. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.